Helping Seniors Television, all about improving quality of life for seniors. If you're a senior, know a senior, or plan to be a senior, then this show is for you. It's all about helping you develop your own aging plan so you can age actively and with dignity. Helping Seniors Television from the Helping Seniors Network of information, education, and resources. Welcome to today's edition of Helping Seniors Television from the Helping Seniors Network. Whether you are caring for a senior, are a senior, or just plan to be one, we hope you'll enjoy today's program. On today's edition of Helping Seniors TV program host and longtime senior advocate Joe Steckler and Helping Seniors Executive Director Kerry Fink discuss the importance of communications in terms of getting information into the hands of seniors that can impact their lives positively. Learn about Helping Seniors efforts on TV, radio, print, and online in this program.
Welcome to a special edition of Helping Seniors. We're on location filming today several different shows, and we had an opportunity to speak to Kerry Fink. Kerry is our new executive director. Well, new in some senses, but we just felt it would be good just to have a talk. And there's nothing scripted. Kerry and I are going to talk to you about things that we have seen, some of the thoughts that we have, things that we maybe that you as an informed viewer should have a better knowledge about. And I think that's extremely important for our people to know, Kerry. So welcome, Kerry.
Thank you. Good to be here.
You know, I think it's important that, that people realize that the purpose of helping seniors is to simply to inform, educate, and connect people with resources. And why do you, Kerry Fink, you got a radio background, you got a TV company, you are involved in evangelical ministry, and you associate with all kinds of people. So what makes Kerry Fink so enthusiastic about doing this work?
Well, I guess I would probably say it's because I have a mother, had a mother, and my wife had a mother. And they live with us. So we literally live some of the issues. And the thing that you learn as you go through that is all of this is on-the-job training, both for the person who's aging and the persons who are living with the persons who's aging. So one of the things I like to say a lot is I said, you know, and particularly in our area here in Brevard County, by definition, you either are a senior, you are caring for a senior, or Lord willing, you're going to become a senior. And you might as well start getting your information together like you always talk about so that you have an aging plan and you can make the best plan to age as successfully as you can.
And it's been my observation over the years, Kerry, that very few people really think about developing what I call a real aging plan. We sort of pay it lip service. It's just like we pay lip service to the purchase of healthcare insurance.
Sure.
We all think that we're not going to succumb to illness. We're not going to have a problem. We're not going to have a stroke. We're not going to have anything. Mm-hmm. I've had some serious medical problems. Had I not been on Medicare, mm-hmm. I don't know how I ever paid for it. I just don't know how I would have paid for it. But even the best laid plans of mice and men are not going to cover all eventualities. Right. But if we do a better job of planning, if we do a better job of using resources like Helping Seniors, if we pay attention to what's in the Senior Scene magazine, if we watch the TV shows, if we listen to the radio show, if we have some idea that there's an entity that has more information that me as a private resource has.
Mm-hmm. Well, a good analogy, I think, is we're very familiar. We have an excellent fire department here in Brevard County. Whenever there's a fire, they're going to show up at the blaze and they're going to do the best under those circumstances. But I would imagine if a fire person was sitting here at this table, he or she would tell us what they really would prefer to do is talk to somebody and say, let's take a look at your house. Let's see, do you have the right fire extinguishers? Do you know where your exits are? Have you made all the provisions to make your house as safe as possible? Why? Because we really don't want to have to come to your house in an emergency. And so I think that's a good way to consider why it makes sense to invest in this. You wouldn't plan for a fire, but in the case of aging, that is going to be your plan. The only question is, how well do you want to prepare for it?
How much or how well prepared do you think Brevard County is in terms of economic planning for a rapidly growing senior population? And also, we both know that there is no aging plan.
Right.
We know, but on the other part of it, the finances, that's an important thing. What do you, as the director of the organization, what do you think about the county's admittance to the fact that we either need to do something or not do something about helping our seniors?
Well, you've written a series of articles that I think were spot on. And in essence, there were different variations of it, but the title was basically, we need senior leadership. I think that if we got all the people who are in charge of regulations in the room, everybody would be in agreement, we've got to do a better job about seniors. The problem is it kind of breaks down once everybody goes back to their respective corners. One of the reasons that we exist is helping seniors, in addition to directly helping seniors with our senior information helpline, and the very fact that we sit down and do television shows, radio shows, newspaper articles, publish on the internet, trying to get as much information into as many hands as we can. The other reason we exist is to advocate for seniors, and half of that means just reciting facts that we might consider obvious, but every time I point out to somebody, we live in a county that by AARP definition, 1 in 2 of us is over the age of 50, that's usually an eye-opener. And then when you move on to the next statistic, which is 1 out of 4 of us is over the age of 65. So again, you can't be in any role in Brevard County and not be working with seniors at some level. The question is, how can we coordinate the efforts? I used this in a presentation last night. We were talking about the fact that we get calls on our senior information helpline all the time, and you might think certain things are just evident and obvious, but we've had this talk before about the lady who called in and says, I can't afford, I either eat or I buy my medicine. I don't have any other option. I make it on my Social Security check of a few $100s a month. That's all I have in the world. What do I do? And Kay says, the most obvious thing that would almost be like, well, that's an aside. You are set up for Meals on Wheels, point number 1. No, what's that? So I use the statement that for the simple lack of knowledge, you know, it's been said people perish. By opening that one door, that simply allowed that person to be able to resolve an issue of not having to make a choice between medicine and food. We've talked about this before, that one of the best known secrets for people connected in some way, either married to somebody who was in the military, is the Veterans Aid and Attendance Program. And you know personally how many times that we've been able to get somebody moving down the path, and things like that dramatically change their life. I made the argument in that presentation that money certainly gives you a lot of options. You have more options when you have more money. The problem is you may not even have the knowledge, though, to use those options correctly. But if you are limited in your funds, then you really need help in figuring out what your options are. And that's why it's so important, the work that Helping Seniors does, because you, Kay, and the other people that are connected to Helping Seniors, they know answers and are able to get answers from people and find paths. Our goal as an organization is to get everybody working together on the same page. We also talk that we don't compete with the other organizations. What we're here to do is try to tie everybody together and complete the senior care equation.
But see, and you understand that your time is coming on. My time is fading out because I've been doing this for 30 years. After I retired from the Navy, I got involved with with helping seniors in Brevard County, folks. That's what I've done. But I'm very much aware of where the failures in the system are. Too often, Kerry, we think a program or an organization is doing something because we've taken it for granted that they're doing something good, when in fact, they're not. It's not doing anything bad. They're doing good things,
Right.
but there are better ways to do more good things more effectively, and this all amounts to changing times. I talked to a gentleman that talked to our United Way people and said, but you need to help fund helping seniors because the seniors' causes. And this person was told that United Way board of directors it doesn't consider that as one of the priorities. It's the children priority and some other things, and they're basing a lot of this on the fact that their resources are dwindling. They're not as collecting as much each year.
Right.
Nothing per se is going to be in place forever. We have to adjust to changing times.
Absolutely.
We may the rapidly aging population may reach a peak and may dwindle off a different way, and that's why we have intelligent people in our country and the United States and say we need to concentrate more efforts on this now. We have to adjust. We have to take care of it. The worst thing, and you've described it, is if an older person has to make a decision between whether they eat or take their medicine. That's horrible.
Yes.
Because if you don't have a good nutritious program, sometimes maybe your medicine's not going to be as effective.
That's right. Absolutely.
It's a cause-effective relationship. I had a doctor say to me that the Meals on Wheels is a wonderful program, but that doesn't mean that the quality of food is as good.
Wow.
And he's had these people say, "I don't want to eat it." And the purpose of our discussion today is not to demean any program. It's to say that maybe we need to take a look at what we're doing. Therefore, who in Brevard County is going to take the look? Who holds who accountable? The last survey to go across the board in the last survey in this county was done in 1996.
Right.
That's a long time. And we did one with a small advocacy group, and we only sampled a small portion of the county. But what were the results of that survey?
I'm glad you brought that point up because, you would ask somebody, say, what are the things that is most important to you as a senior? What would help you the most? So obviously you might say money, or you might say something along those lines, and certainly that ranked way up there. But tied with that was the need for information. And so once again, it's a way to simply change from an impossible situation into something that could be manageable with one more piece of information. And that's why we're so dedicated to the concept of getting information. It's why we do you can't pick up a newspaper or a magazine in this county without running across Joe Steckler's Helping Seniors column. You can't find, you turn on the TV, turn on the YouTube, you're going to find Helping Seniors on every cable household in our county. You're going to be able to hear us on the radio. You do hear us on the radio, have actually for many, many years on 50,000 watt WMEL. We have to get this information out there. And one of the key things is, and this was another thing we talked about in the presentation yesterday, we have to remember that people are moving into this county at an unprecedented rate. And so what happens is these people come from other areas. They have no idea where to begin to get the information. They have no idea what resources exist or who to go to. And so our job as helping seniors is to get our finger in as many different Kool-Aids, if you will, as we can, to be able to say, we need to come together and work together for a plan for seniors. We hold ourselves out nationally and tell people we're an elder-friendly community. Now, what are we all going to do together to be sure that we honor that statement?
Well, yeah, our Governor Scott was in Maine recently, trying to get people from Maine to move to Florida.
Right.
But conversely, we don't increase the money in the Department of Elder Affairs. We don't have money from the state. It comes into private nonprofit organizations.
Right.
And it's a great bang for, but it's just like the SHINE program, serving the health insurance needs of elders. It costs the federal government $50 million to manage that program nationwide across the entire United States. And that helps, and the volunteers are all volunteers in the program. But they help so many people that don't know where to go to get help.
Exactly.
There are good insurance programs, there are bad insurance programs. There are programs that are good for people and not good for others. The SHINE counselor helps people discern which is the right thing for them.
Right.
But because the federal government may, on their budget, delete that program, does that mean that we have to let it go away? No, not at all. Right. The state could still fund it, or even on a local level. I even talked to the coordinator of the local program and said, Joe, if I had $10,000 a year, he said, since we're all volunteers, I have to buy some things. He said, I can manage your program. That's why I said, in the event you lose funding, our organization will commit to helping you find that money. And it might take just a few phone calls, because there are enough good people in Brevard County that understand that there are certain needs to be met, and you just can't let these things go by the wayside. And to that end, Helping Seniors has tried very hard to not be dependent on the public dole. Right. We roughly think we have a budget of about $250,000 a year to do all the stuff we do: radio, television, a newspaper, newsletter, information helpline, everything, for $250,000. That's a bargain. It's a big bargain, because a lot of it's based on volunteer help. And you do the TV shows, so you know what it costs us to do all that. But we know that there's more that can be done better. But what we try to do is tell our audience how we try to fund our program.
Well, it's an interesting dynamic, because as you said, as it gets tougher to find money on a grant level from governments who are also busy trying to tighten their belts. And we had this conversation again in the presentation last night. Our county said we got to look after our kids. So collectively, we voted in a half-penny sales tax, because we want to make sure our children were getting education and getting a good start in life that they really deserve. Well, the argument from the other side of the equation is, what are we going to do for seniors who have been the taxpayers for their entire life? Now, when they need some help, are we going to step up and be there to help them in that? So one of the things that we've done, because we've recognized that the landscape is difficult, everybody's trying to balance their budgets on government levels and things like that, and everybody is not really in favor of new taxes. So we've gone to the businesses and said, you have to understand, we're a service organization, but we're committed to getting information out there. Will you stand with us, and will you help us to do that? So we've been very blessed to have not only a lot of businesses who step up and say, we're going to support your work, we're going to help you do what it takes to make sure the newsletter gets published, we're going to do what it takes to help make sure the TV programs get done, we're going to make sure we keep you on the radio, we're going to make sure that you guys are maximizing every social media capacity that you can. Where if we're going to trade shows, as you know now, Joe, we're going every place we can to interact with seniors. And those businesses who are compassionate and caring for seniors help us do that. But that's only one part of the equation. The other part of the equation is individuals who understand. Some people might just say, look, I want to pay it forward. I hope that if I helping seniors right now, there might come a day when I need help, and because I'm doing this, I'm paying it forward. And that's a great way to think about it. We have a lot of individuals who get involved as members of we have a thing called the $100 Club. It's real simple. It's a once a year donation of $100, and that is what helps us to sustain. We're looking for just 1,000 people out of our county of 500,000 people who stand with us to do that. And as you know, we've had, because of your reputation as a leader in the industry, I explained a story. I said, people today are able to go to places that were named Joe's Club because you took the initiative and helped establish the Brevard Alzheimer's Foundation and got the county to understand the importance, and everybody connected to understand the importance. We have to do things for seniors. Well, you were just honored on stage here a few weeks back. A.J. Hires, who is arguably, if not the top, certainly one of the top dealership folks, he said, Joe, I want to help you with helping seniors, and I want to give you a car from my personal collection, this beautiful car, and I want you guys to use it to help fund so that you can be sure that somebody can answer the phone when somebody calls and says, I've got a problem. And as you know, we get calls not only from seniors themselves, we get calls from people all the time. Well, I live next door to this lady and I'm concerned because nobody is there for her. Yeah. We get calls from adult children. I just visited Mom in Cocoa. I'm not sure, I don't know anybody down there. I live up here in Buffalo. Who do I call? Where do I go? And because we're answering that phone, we're able to make a difference in those people's lives.
Yeah, we get calls for electricians, we get calls for grass cutters. But you know, people, you look in a phone book, you don't know who you can trust, you don't know what you're getting. So what we're trying to do is build a network. You know, one of the things before we run out of time, I want to make sure people understand that this is helping seniors, and our website is helpingseniorsofbrevard.org. Go to that website, take a look at what we do, see what this $100 club is that Kerry's talked about. We are raffling this car off at $25 for a $25 donation. You get 1 ticket. For a $100 donation, you get 5 tickets. But more importantly, that money goes, all of it, to help fund the program. It doesn't. I don't take any money. We have 3 paid people in our organization, and they have to earn a living. So, but the raffle itself is going to be held at the American Muscle Car Museum on February the 10th, 2018, and it's an opportunity to look at $32 million worth of muscle cars.
It's going to be fun.
I've seen them. It's a fantastic collection. But as I say, folks, what Kerry and I are doing today for this show, we are trying to show you what one little small nonprofit is trying to do to change some perceptions about need. Seniors are not asking for anything free. They're asking for recognition that there might be some among that class of people that need a little help, the same as there are children that are born to disadvantaged parents or disabled parents. They may need help by their own disability. They may need help in growing up. People, if you look at the age cycle, you know, there's a cycle of life. The first thing a baby learns to do is to smile. As you go through the whole life cycle, the last thing a person forgets to do is to smile. That's the last thing you forget. It's the first thing you learn, it's the last thing you forget. And I explained that to a group of 5th graders one day, 3rd graders. I spoke to an elementary school, and those kids were really, really enjoyed me talking about that type of a subject. People appreciate, and if they understand what it is you're trying to do, more people will become involved, Kerry.
Yeah. No, what I really, the experience I've had, and as you said, you know, I've been alongside, actually since you started the organization, really focusing on what I understand best, which is the media aspect. But we also talked about, we live in a county that is 70 miles long, and so you have people at the very north end in Mims and people at the very south end in Micco, and they don't necessarily always meet because the distances are so great. So one of the reasons that we try to get the information out through every media opportunity is we want to make sure this information gets in the hands of people, because I think that's really the key benefit is when you know something, you're in better position to work through options and think about the best way to resolve it. And so what you're talking about is you're bringing the sometimes the awkward subject of aging, and when you get people to at least begin the dialogue, that's half the battle, because then they start going, yeah, this is something we need to think about. So our job is to sort of yell from the rooftops, hey guys, there is a lot of seniors. There's 125,000 over the age of 65, and there's 250,000 who are over the age of 50, and every one of those is planning on becoming a senior. So
you don't have a choice.
Yeah, you live long enough. And I always use that. I said, becoming a senior is on-the-job training. There is no real way. I guess if you're smart, you're trying to take cues from people who are already there and have been down that road or have become experts in it. Why would you go to an attorney? Because the attorney is an expert in whatever topic that you've come to that person for advice. Why wouldn't you come to somebody for advice about growing old as well as you can given your particular circumstances? That's what helping seniors is all about.
Yeah. And if they really want to get involved with us, the phone number to call Kerry is, and the phone number is, it's very simple, folks, 321
Yes.
473-7770. I'll say it again, 321-473-7770. You can become a sponsor, you can become a donor, you can make a donation for car tickets. Somebody won the car. I guess we didn't even mention what it was.
Oh, it's a beautiful 1951 Ford Victoria. Beautiful hot rod. Go to the website and look at the pictures.
It's like the car that Robert Mitchum, for you old timers watching our show today, if you remember, Robert Mitchum drove a 1950 or 51 Ford Victoria in the movie Thunder Road. It's the same kind of car, and this one's been restored. It was given to us by A.J. Hires out of his personal collection, and it's just another way people in the private community say, thank you for trying to help a bunch of people that need help.
Yes, exactly.
So I think that's very important. Well, I hope what we talked about today is just maybe add some information to our viewers.
Absolutely.
And again, thank you, Kerry, for doing the show with me
Good to
today.
be here.
Thank you for watching. I'm Joe Steckler. Thank you for joining our program today. I'd like to remind you that our senior information line is available to you at 321-473-7770. There you can get help and direction that could be helpful for your specific situation or circumstances. The work of helping seniors is very important, but we can't do it alone. That is why our sponsors here in Brevard County are so important. I'd like to thank our many area sponsors, businesses, and medical providers who support the mission of helping seniors that help us carry the cost of our media efforts. If you'd like to join us either as a business partner or simply donate as an individual, we would welcome your call at 321-473-7770. You are always welcome to visit our website at www.helpingseniorsofbrevard.org. Thanks so much for your help. It does make a difference.